There we go, people. There we go, people. We've just got the Glaiven Wing-tip, guys. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Good times. There's the first drop of today. Go G now. Yeah, I'll go and sell it now. Oh, shit. Mind if I... Yeah, I'll go and sell it now. I might actually need to rebank after this kill anyway. No. Don't you dare do that, JMod. Get out of here. Get out of here, James. Seriously. Don't you dare do that to me. A back-to-back loot. Get out. Oh my god. Don't do that to me, man. You're going to give me a heart attack or something. What up, guys? It is Justice here, and yes, I managed to get a Glaiven tip drop. It was unbelievable. I managed to get it on around my 150th kill, and straight after that, I got trolled by a JMod James, where he spawned himself as a golden beam when I killed the Rune Dragon directly after the one which I killed for the drop. It was just such a... Yeah, just speechless, really. It was like the emotion of happiness and anger put into one. It was such a good laugh for that to happen, and had so many people watching at the time that it was just constant for like 2 minutes straight, just constant rips and roasts via the Twitch chat because of that elite troller. Now, you would have saw me at the beginning get a Rune Dragon task. I had to cancel 3 tasks before I got mine. There is an early bird bonus for the first 2 weeks. That is an increased chance you're going to get Rune Dragons as a Slayer task from Morvran. Now, yesterday I got loads of questions of how do you get to this place. Well, you have to quick dial the world gate, so right click, quick dial, change it to Kethsi, which is option number 2. Once you change to Kethsi, all you need to do then is re-click the portal. It will then ask you, do you want to be teleported to Kethsi where the Rune Dragons are? Just click yes. Therefore, you do need Fate of the Gods quest. Now, this is the first phase which I'm killing the Rune Dragons in. I'm going to go through the 3 phases of the Rune Dragons. The shield's just broken off the Rune Dragon. In order to break that shield off, you need to use Dragonbane ammo, and therefore the completion of Ritual Imagurite is needed. Within the second phase, it goes into flight mode. Now, if you do not need a DFS, you don't need a Dragonfire shield to kill Rune Dragons, all you need is Super Anti-Fire. The Dragonfire breath of the Rune Dragon whilst in flight mode can hit through your Super Anti-Fire, but I saw it only hit around 1k to 1.5k maximum. You can also dodge that blue magic attack whilst the dragon's in flight phase if you're far enough away by just stepping away. Now, third phase is the Enrage Phase. The longer it takes for you to kill the Rune Dragon in this phase, the more enraged the Rune Dragon gets and the higher it hits. The best method, I would say, is to make sure you're in a Death Swift maybe, or just make sure you leave Rapid Fire for the last phase within the Enrage Phase so you can get the Rune Dragon down as quick as possible. But all in all, it really isn't that hard to kill them. They are a Slayer monster, and to be honest, out of all the Slayer monsters I've killed, these take the longest, and the tasks are extremely long as well. They can take over an hour, especially if you extend them. But yeah, that is pretty much all you're doing. You are just DPSing through the life points of the dragon. There is no hidden mechanics, you're literally just DPSing. They attack with both range and magic attacks, but you really don't feel any impact if you're wearing max gear with Soul Split, but I'll go through the gear later on in this video. Okay, so far in game I've managed to kill 202 Rune Dragons. I'm currently on my 3rd task, and every time I got a task I extended it. On my very first Rune Dragon task I actually preferred it for 100 Slayer points. You will also see on screen me selling my Glaiven Wing-tip. Again, of course, one of the first to get this in the game, because it's the first day. I managed to sell it for 17.7 mil. They were at first going for about 25 mil each, and then they went down a little bit more. So 17.7 mil I managed to sell mine for. Now, for the tier 90 power boots, you will have to use 2 of these Glaiven Wing-tips, for example, to make a level 90 Flare Frost boots. So at the time of me selling my wingtips, the boots would have been around 35.4 mil. Plus the cost of the original tier 85 Glacier boots. 2 Ragefire Glands will create level 90 Hailfire boots. And 2 Steadfast Scale will create level 90 Emberkeen boots. I will create another video, separate videos on all 3 boots in the future. On screen, I'm showing you my GE trade history of the different Dragon Bones that I sold within the first hour to 2 hours of killing them. 25k they sold for at the beginning, they then sold for 17k to then selling for 13.5k. They then went back up to 14k later on in the day. Now, the guaranteed drops from Rune Dragons are Rune Dragon Bones. They give you 190 prayer experience compared to Frost Dragons, which are probably their competitor, which give you 180 prayer experience. That is, when used on a gilded altar, 35 more prayer experience per bone. Rune Dragons also have a guaranteed 1 rune bar drop, and they also quite often drop rocktails for you, and therefore you don't need loads of food to take with you in your invent. There's a common chance they will drop 3 rune bars actually, and also a Draconic Visage is a rare drop. The Foresight Journal pages are rare, but I've actually managed to complete all 10 of those. It's basically just for lore. They also do have a very rare chance of dropping a Dragonfall Helm, which you can sell for 8.8 mil. The prices are, however, so unstable right now, it's not worth making a money-making guide per hour. I will look into that in the future. You will now see on screen me fighting an elite rune dragon, and these guys look badass, and to be honest they are much tougher than the normal rune dragons. A lot of people are saying, you know, why aren't the rune dragons harder? You've got to remember they are a slayer monster, they're a slayer task, and people just wouldn't do it if they're too hard. So I think the rune dragons are pretty damn good the way they are at the moment. They do take a long time to kill. The elite rune dragons are a whole different story. They go through the same 3 phases of rune dragons, but their life points are 105,188 life points compared to the normal rune dragons, which is 68,250. They have a higher defense, they give a higher experience for killing them, both slayer and combat experience, and they take a lot longer to kill, and their damage output is much higher as well. Their fire breaths can hit through your super anti-fire, and their range attacks around 3.5k. They're very unpredictable when you're wearing max gear like I am in here, tier 90. The armor rating is pretty good, so it will restrict and it will prevent a lot of the damage, but every so often, as you saw there, I got hit a 2.7k through my super anti-fire. The range attacks can hit high as well. There's a 3.3k on screen, but eventually you will take it down. These are the toughest fight which you'll come across here, and they spawn approximately every 15 minutes. Another thing to note, the Tusker's Wrath ability works on both the normal rune dragons and the elite, and you do not need a DFS either to kill the elites. Like I said, just save your most precious thresholds such as rapid fire. Make sure you've got those ready in the Enrage phase, because that last phase, the elite dragon can wreck you if you don't kill it quick enough, which lower level players without a tier 90 weapon may struggle here. For slayer tasks, if you just want experience, the elites are not worth killing because they only give you roughly around 100 more slayer experience for killing them, and they take a lot longer to kill. Normal rune dragons give 976 slayer experience, elites give you 1079 slayer experience per kill. Now also with elite dragons, after 3 minutes, if a player within the vicinity has not attacked their own elite dragon, you can then kill it. But I'm not sure what the facts are on this. Again, I'm going to make another video once we iron out all the facts around the elite dragons. But when you kill someone else's elite dragon, it seems to damage a lot more than if you were attacking your own elite dragon. And again, I have not done this yet, so when I do come across a spare elite dragon somewhere, I will record it and make a video on it. A patch was made yesterday as well, where now you have a slayer counter. As you can see, I've unlocked my screen by pressing L, and I'm moving my slayer counter over to the top right hand corner of the screen, which is a fantastic small little update. Now I've managed to get an Adamant Dragon task, which I'm about to show you now. By the way, to get the slayer counter, just go into exit, game settings, interface settings, and there'll just be like a little box saying slayer counter, tick box it, and then that'll show in the top right hand corner of the screen. You can move it about by just editing your interface system. Okay, on to the Adamant Dragons. Well, not much to say really. I'll just go through the stats first of the Adamant Dragons. They have pretty much double the amount of life points as their counterparts before them, which are the Mithril Dragons. The Mithril Dragons have 17,800 life points. The Adamant Dragons have 32,812. Pretty much half of Rune Dragon's LP as well. They virtually deal no damage to you. This is, however, a multi-way combat area, and there are loads of them down here, so if you do have chain on your ability bar, which I find out, you do end up getting around 5 or 6 attacking you at the same time, which eventually will reduce your life points a lot. So just be careful and be wary about that there are a lot down here. It's very quiet as well, because most people are at Rune Dragons. Decent slayer task though as a whole. They do take a little while to kill, but yeah, really nothing to them at all. They're really not hard, which is expected. Essentially, it's like killing a Mithril Dragon, but it just takes twice as long. The Adamant Dragons, by the way, can be found in the Brimhaven Dungeon, accessible via a set of stairs in a room between the Moss, Fire Giants, and Black Demons. Now, I wanted to leave this near the end of the video to go through the gear setups and your invent setups, because I know a lot of people will already have a good idea of what to take. But just to help out anybody, I'll walk you through my gear and invent setups, which I use throughout today. Adamant Dragons are a bit different than Rune. With Adamant Dragons, you want to be using magic because they're weak to air spells. But for Rune Dragons, I used full Serenic tier 90 armor with a Noxious longbow with Dragonbane arrows. By the way, it is kind of worth switching out the Dragonbane arrows for Raxite arrows later on in the day if you really want to do that. Gives you that extra damage boost after the first phase. The inventory which I take are Supreme Overloads over using Searing Overloads, for example, for the extra 3% DPS. I take Super Perennials, I take Replenishment Pots, which I don't really use to be honest, but that gives you that extra Adrenaline boost if you need it at Rune Dragons when killing elites. I have my Enhanced Excalibur for the 4400 heal over a duration of time. I have my Ring of Vigor switch for when I use Death Swiftness. Super Anti-Fire, I actually have Weapon Poison as well, which I use when killing Rune Dragons just to speed it up a little bit because they are not immune to poison. I take Restore Potions. I take around 4 or 5 Saradomin Brew flasks. I take VIP Slayer tickets for when I'm getting my tasks. You do not need a Dragonfire Shield, that's only for the murals, which I might make a video on. I've got my 6-age circuit for teleporting to the World Gate quickly for Rune Dragons. I take my Yak Pouch and Yak Scrolls. You can also use Magic Notepaper if you wish to do so. I've also got a Spring Cleaner to break down any Adamant and Rune bars preferably. And that is pretty much all you need. Essentially, you're killing dragons. You don't forget your Super Anti-Fire Potion. You do not need a Dragonfire Shield for killing these dragons. For anyone who's wondering, Super Anti-Fire is level 85 Herbalore, so make sure you have that. If you have any other questions regarding gear setups, just let me know in the comment section, ask your questions, and I will reply. Now, just to go through a few other drops, other than the tier 90 boot attachments that you can get from normal Rune Dragons, which are the Glaiven Wing-tip, the Ragefire Gland, and the Steadfast Scale. The Elite Dragons have a chance of dropping the Kethsi outfit scrolls that, when read, unlock the cosmetic override which you see on screen now. This is rare, and it's as rare as the Steadfast Scale, Glaiven, and Ragefire Gland when killing an Elite Dragon. The Elite Dragon also has a chance, this is a very rare chance by the way, of dropping a Kethsi ring, and there was one lucky person in the Twitch chat yesterday who managed to get the Kethsi ring on his very first Elite Rune Dragon kill. At the moment, we think this Kethsi ring is only useful for when you're on a Slayer task, or if you do Slayer, because it gives a 4% damage bonus against Mithril Dragons and an 8% damage boost while in Curadel's dungeon. Okay, I think I've pretty much covered off everything which I can cover off on like the first day of release. If there's anything I've missed out, feel free to comment down below. I will be making future videos going over more loot, going over even more complex guides if anything gets found out, and yeah, just going over my journey with killing these and going for all the unique drops from the Rune Dragons. If you want to know about more of the requirements to even get to this place and kill these dragons, then if you watch my previous video that goes through my preparations and the different quests that you do need to complete these as a Slayer task. Thank you for watching, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Good luck on your PVM trips and happy scaping.